guys, and welcome back to Tea Time with Livvy. So, this is actually going to be my last episode before I go on a little break because I'm going to Miami. Um, so yeah, this is like the end of like the first little series of episodes, I would say, which is more just like on a level of getting to know me and things like that. Obviously, when we start refilming, like a little, there'll be like more newness to it. I want to do loads of things with it, but I just wanted to just talk about on like the first few episodes. I just really wanted to talk about like a lot of things about like deep things about me, and just like it's actually made me so happy how many get messages I'm getting, just like how much this has just made them feel better just listening in. And that's really what it's here for. Like some people might not get the concept of me like sharing certain things or like doing it on my own, and like but then a lot of people do, and I love that. Like I'm here for them, a lot of people, because it's made this like whole starting a podcast experience so much fun. But yeah, I've got so many ideas for the next like little series or whatever you want to call it. And this one's been so fun. I feel like I've really delved in deep with so many different topics, and I've just made people feel heard and seen and normal. Like that's the main thing, normal, because we're all fucking the same, loves. Like we're all a bit fucking weird in our own ways, and we all feel the same feelings. Just because it might not look it doesn't mean you're alone, and that's what the message is getting across. So made up. But anyway, this one is the last one, and this is on family. I feel like I've saved this one till last because I would say it's just like a kind of a difficult one to speak out on. Obviously, there's only so much I can say because it's not really my business to like put online. It's obviously between like the people who was of my family kind of thing. But there's certain things that I can definitely talk on because I know that that is like a big part of everyone's life. Like my family is everything to me, and I do want to just say like my family base now is super like strong. I wouldn't have it any other way. Like I'm so close with my sisters, I'm so close with my brothers, I'm close with me, obviously my mum and dad, and I'm close with my stepmom. And that's just like took it maybe took a few years, it took a few years to, well, it took a while to get to that point. But we are like all at like kind of like a solid point where everyone's just happy in their own lives, which I'm so happy for, because obviously it hasn't always been like that. I would say obviously as my mum and dad aren't together anymore. My dad's got remarried last year, I want to say, which was crazy. Like I remember when he walked down the aisle. Oh no, when I walked down the aisle as bridesmaid, like I just burst into tears. So it's just so like weird seeing like just like different eras of your parents' lives. Do you get what I'm saying? Like I used to be such like maybe a person I don't know what I used to be like as a kid, but I just you feel like everything needs to be perfect in your family, and like you have these hopes and dreams like a little girl, and it's not like, do you get what I'm saying? Not is perfect. Things do go wrong, unfortunately, and I don't know. Like like I remember when I was a kid, I would like when my dad was. The thing is, with my dad, he's been my dad lives for his kids. Like my dad lives for his life. Like what he does everything for us. He's built everything for us. He's just like the dream dad I could ever ask for. Things have definitely like been hiccuped around along the way. He hasn't been perfect, but Eva's my mum, and just things have obviously gone wrong. And I remember seeing a quote, and I used to just expect perfectness from everything, and it's their first time living as well. Do you get what I'm saying? And when someone told me that, it just made me like, when I seen that quote on TikTok, it just makes you realize like you can't actually give your parents a hard time for like, I don't know, things not working out the way that you expected them to. Like they are literally still going through life for the first time as well. Just because they're wiser and older to us, they're not. Like they're still just growing up themselves and like learning things still, even though they're so much older. Maybe not so much now. I feel like my parents definitely learned a lot, but like at the time when they obviously were like breaking up and things were going wrong, I feel like I've got no judgment for that kind of the whole situation that went on, because I just it's just like, again, like it's just things, shit happens, like things like things happen in marriages and relationships, and we always are so hard on our parents to make sure it's like right, and it's not fair. Like when my mum and dad, when I was old enough and started noticing that, like, you know, my mum and dad were kind of like coming to an end, which was sad because like my mum had been with them since she was like 16, and that was like I feel like I knew it was coming to an end when we moved out of Liverpool. I feel like that was like kind of to just because I don't know, it was just to get us out of like out of the way kind of thing. Like that's how it felt anyway. I don't. That's when I started seeing things like my mum was like more on her own. Things changed a lot. Like, and my dad wasn't like he was. It's not that he wasn't around. He was always present, my dad, but he wasn't like he wouldn't like stay often. But there was so much going on in my dad's life, like and I would never make excuses for anything like that because but people will never get it, and but I get it because I do honestly understand, and that's why I would just never like hate on your parents like for maybe it not working out. Like I just don't get why people do that and make like the parents' lives hell. I get it to an extent, but then on the same breath, like I don't because like at one point in our lives we're going to reach that age, and if we're not happy in the situation we're in, would you want us? Would you stay? Like just because like you want this happily ever after? Sometimes things do go wrong, and you've just got to like come to terms with it. So I would say that's when I would really like getting on to the, like, you know, things were definitely failing when we moved house, and I do feel like that was kind of like done on purpose a little bit, like just to like kind of get us out the way, and maybe I feel like what he was trying to like make it work, but it was just like done with kind of thing, which was sad. But I feel like it was just I was a bit like already expecting it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like things were just always a little bit mad, like growing up, like me, like with that marriage. It was never just like smooth sailing. I remember when I was a kid, I used to like have all these teddies, or you had all these Build-A-Bears. I was obsessed with Build-A-Bears. Every single time me and my dad and my mum would go out for food for it, like it'd always take me to get a Build-A-Bear. And you know when you get your little heart, the little heart, and you have to rub it and you make a wish. It was always that my dad had like come back. And because he obviously like lived abroad, and like he never really had a home base. We had a home base, his family did, but like he didn't. And like that it like I don't know. So I always used to wish that he would come back anyway. And I remember this one time he was going to Portugal the next day, and I just got it when I got me Build-A-Bear, and it's called Jingles. I don't know if you still remember the blue one. I used the word load of jingles. If you like, if you know Jay, you'll know Jingles. And he put his voice in it, and it says, "Hello, Olivia, it's your dad. You know you're my number one, don't you? I love you millions and millions and millions." And the reason he bought me that teddy was because he was going to Portugal the next day, and I remember sat in the back of the car with Jingles in the back on my box, and I had a little like iPhone 3, or it might have been an iPod, and I had my headphones in, and like I could tell at that point that it was just off with my mum and dad. Like my mum weren't going with him. Usually when he went to Portugal, we were going, like we all went. I mean, I think we were going back and forth, but it was just because I was in school and stuff. But like that's when I started like noticing, why aren't we going with my dad? Because I was like, that's weird. Like I used to live in Portugal when I was a kid. We lived there for a while. We lived lived all over really, like that, like Spain as well. I think we lived in Marbella for a little bit, and then I think it was just more like when my mum got pregnant with Emmy that she come back home because like she needed me nan and that as well, like to be there. Obviously she didn't want to just have like a new baby and just live abroad, and I feel like my mum felt a little bit lonely. Like living abroad seems like a little bit like all this and that, but when I've like lived there or I've been there, even when I've been older, like once you're there for so long, it does get a little bit like, oh, you do miss little homely things like running around the corner, going to see, like at this case where we lived in Liverpool, going to see me nan, which she literally lived around the corner from us, or when my mum was like going around or having a meet round for like a little glass of wine. You do miss them things, you get what I'm saying? So we did eventually come home, but this time when he got me Jingles and he done me little voice note, I just like felt it was a bit weird. And like I always knew everything, but they always treated me like I was stupid. Do you get what I'm saying? Like I remember I was kind of onto everything before, even at some point times before my mum. Like when my dad used to come round, he'll hate me for saying this. When my dad used to come round, like I would only be like 7, and I used to take his BlackBerry, and when he'd be in the shower, and I used to write all of his contacts down I just like used to write every because he wouldn't have many contacts. He'd only have like a certain people in his phone, and I used to write them all down. And me, me mum would call them all. Like I've always just like I'd been like a little bit of a mini spy, to be honest with you. Um. So anyway, yeah, when I got me that teddy, I remember sitting in the back of the car and I had my headphones in, and you know what song was on? Beyonce, Broken Hearted Girl, and I was literally like, this is me, and I was looking out the window. It was like a music video. I swear to God, I was like heartbroken. Like, I love my dad so much. He was just like he still is to this day. He'll always be like my person. When I was a kid growing up, I was always like my dad's little, everyone used to call me like little mini Gary, like I was just my dad's daughter. My dad wouldn't smile in pictures, I wouldn't smile in pictures. If he didn't like a certain bag of crisps, I wouldn't like a certain bag of crisps. Like, I was just obsessed with him. I loved it. Obviously, I still am. He's my dad. I love him so, so much. But I also kind of, like, was way ahead of my years. You get what I'm saying? Like, the way that he brought me up and, like, he was with me. I was just very much well ahead of my years. Like, I was a little owl woman, they always used to say as well. So I was onto things, and and it kind of, I would get onto, I would like notice that things would go like, that's what, like, do you get what I'm saying? I wasn't just like a kid that would sit there and like think that when your mum and dad are blatantly not happy together and just like think that they are. Like, I was onto everything. So when they went to Portugal, obviously my mum, I feel like then my mum had Emmy eventually. She obviously got Emmy. They had another baby, which was my little sister Emmy. And then I would say after that, not long after that, that's when everything probably, wait, when they split up, no, it was definitely a bit longer after that, actually. It was after, I was in like year 8, so Emmy would have been a bit older than newborn, but it was weird because it was over for years. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, them actually like calling it a day, like it used to be a bit like toxic at one point where like, they'd sit me down and it'd be like, right, me and your mum are going to split up, and then they'd get back together and I'd be like, what the fuck? And it would get to the point where like we won't be like, right, we're splitting up, like we're getting rid of the house and all this, and I'd be like, obviously you stress out as a kid, you're like, fuck, like, but they was just like they tried so hard to make it work, but it was just out of the sake of me and Emmy. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I feel like if we weren't there, then that would have been long done with. But it was just like they really wanted it. They tried so hard, and no matter like what went down with them, it was just like they did try the best to try and like keep us out of it. It was only that I was just like a nosy ass kid who like got myself involved in everything. And all the arguments, like, I remember, this is a funny story. So when we lived in Liverpool, I used to have this beans tin. Well, this is the most funniest story ever. So it was like it was a fake beans tin, and you would open the bottom of it, and it was like a little stash. And I was obsessed with stashes and like things like that. Like, my dad would give me tennis, and I'd own me money and like do all madness. I was just a fucking weird kid. So I used to collect. This sounds like so weird, but I used to collect £50 notes. Because I used to love them. Like, I obviously, who doesn't, I mean, but I just genuinely, as a kid, like, I just used to love the fact that they were like red, and like it was like a £50 note, as if it was like, you thought it was that big, didn't you, when you got, I don't know, when you seen a £50 note. So every time my dad used to get a £50 note, he used to give me them, and I used to collect them and put them in his beans tin. And anyway, so my mum and dad put this one time, because this, like, all the arguing started when we lived in Liverpool, and he was constantly like bickering. And it was sad, really, because it was like, they used to be like so close. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's just mad how things should change, but everything happens for a reason, and I'm like, you learn that like the older you get. But anyway, so my mum and dad have started having like full on murder, and my mum, like, while they've been arguing, I've went into the kitchen and grabbed me Heinz tin, but I never took the Heinz tin. I just took all my £50 notes out of it, and then walked back through and was like, because I knew that he was going to say like, you get out, because that's like, he wasn't horrible, but it was just made back in the day. Do you get me? So I went upstairs, and who remembers them Hannah Montana secret pillows? And you used to open them up, and you used to be able to like draw on them, and like they were like a secret pen, and it was invisible and all that stuff. So I had me Hannah Montana pillow, and I put all my £50 notes in. I'm not gonna lie, I had a few grand in these £50 notes. Like, I actually did. So anyway, my mum and dad are arguing. And my nan literally lived down the street from us, so he was like, go to your mum's, like, they had, like, that was just the thing when they would like have murder. And we walked, like, we got halfway, so like we were walking. I'm not to make who my dad sound horrible. Everyone's been kicked out to the nans at some point, and if you haven't, you're definitely not a Scouse from a Scouse family, like, fucking hell. Anyway, so I remember walking down past this pub that was on our road, and my mum was like crying. She was like, like, I can't, like, obviously it's a horrible, like, this is what I'm saying, when you don't realise that your parents are living for the first time as well. Like, you look up and think, why are you acting like that? But then when you get older and you experience things, like, what, they're valid for having them same feelings. Just because they're parents and, like, they're all, like, we look up to them, doesn't mean that they can't have their moments. You get what I'm saying? Like, when seeing your mum act like that, you're like, oh, stop it. But when you get older and you're acting like that, you're like, oh, I get it now. So we got past the pub, and I was like, Mum, don't worry, like, I've sorted out, we don't have to go to my nan's, because, like, we didn't, like, stay in my nan's with all the dogs and that. Like, it was just like, oh no, my mum's a proper clean freak. So we were like, oh, I was like, ring us a taxi. I said, we'll go in the Hilton. So I got us a taxi to the Hilton by the airport in Liverpool. In Speak, but at the time it was fairly new. I think, like, it was actually, like, nice. And my mum was like, she was like, what do you mean you gotta sort it out? I opened my hand, I'm on Pillow, I had about £3 and £50 now. I was like, pick any hotel, Mum, it's fine, we don't need him, we'll get room service and everything. And Emmy was with us as well, so we rang a taxi and went to Hilton, and my mum was paying with all these £50 notes, and we were sat upstairs. My dad rang me mum and been like, where's it? He's got onto it then, because I've took my stash. He's gone, where's Olivia's stash? Where's she? Has she got it with her? And I've gone, yeah, we're in the Hilton, Dad. We had our dressing gowns on. We had fucking room service, everything. He was like, he was laughing his head off, but he wasn't. He was trying to act, like, serious, but he basically kicked us out, and I took us all to the fucking hotel and got us, like, a night's stay. It was so funny, but he made up the next day. So yeah, it was just, like, things like that. Was it probably a little bit toxic? They probably don't really see it as that. And then, yeah, so then we moved to Runcorn again. Sorry, I keep going back and forth. But we moved up here, and yeah, it just got, when we moved into the house that my mum, like, currently lives in, on, like, main house, because when we first moved up to Runcorn, we were renting for a while. Like, she was just in, like, this big house on her own, like, and she'd just been moved out to Liverpool, like, she was going through it as well. Like, now that I look back, and I obviously can see that, like, obviously a marriage is kind of failing. She's not in an area that she's known, like, anyone anymore. She can't just walk down the road to her mum's. She's, like, not got a mates around the corner, because in Speak, where we lived, everyone of my mum's mates, or just everyone, like, was in 5 minutes of each other. Like, you just, like, live near each other if you live there. Obviously, it's, like, a place in it, but do you get what I'm trying to say? Whereas when you move to Runcorn, it's not that kind of place. Like, everywhere is quite spread out, I feel. It's like, just different. And, like, obviously even the vibes up there, the way that she used to, like, dress and act, and, like, she kind of, like, people would, like, look at her, and, like, remember when I said in one of the episodes that when she used to pick me up from school and she had, like, a bouncy blow and wedges on, like, that in Speak, that was normal. Everyone, like, I don't know, it was normal. But then when in Runcorn, it was a bit like, why is she dressing like that to do the school run? But that was just me warm, you get me? And it was like, I don't know, her whole life did kind of change. And then, yeah, like, and then anyway, eventually, like, when I was in school, in, like, year 8, that's when it was, like, getting bad then, I would say. Like, 'cause it was just, like, it was just so confusing, because, like, one minute it was like, oh, we want to make this work. Next minute it was just like, it's not going to work. But it was, like, the effect it was having on my mum more than anything. That, like, made, like, that upset me, I would say. It was because people split up, relationships fail, like, that's something I can accept and come to terms with. But seeing your mum, like, the way that I see the things that I see my mum, like, it was just not a nice thing. That's what broke my heart, I would say. But I would accept that they're not together, and that, like, I couldn't have cared less about that. But it was just the way that my mum took things. I just don't think she dealt with that. Like, she dealt with it in her way, and I mean, it wasn't the right way, but it doesn't matter, because how the fuck I'd react if I'd been with someone for that long and I had kids and I was married, and then it all come crashing down. I feel like I'd probably go off the rails as well. And I'm so proud of my mum now, because, like, the way that she has changed completely, like, oh God, it makes me a bit sad even speaking about it, because she actually did go through it with everything that she went through. And obviously I can't really speak about everything because it's her business, but Yeah, she has completely like changed that round, but it wasn't easy for her. I know it wasn't. And I feel like I seen that all. Do you get what I'm saying? And it was horrible, really, but yeah. It actually makes me so sad when I think about it. What the hell? Not that he likes, or because it's that it's just like, oh, I can't believe that the way that she was, because she was so sad. And you like, what can you do about it? Do you get what I'm saying? And it was like she didn't want to be sad because she wanted to like be there, like she wanted to be the best person that she could for me and Emmy, but she just couldn't. Guys, I'm crying. I'm not crying anymore. I'm actually crying. Yeah, when I think about it. Only about my mum. I've got to go to the juice after this. Oh.
You're getting emotional thinking about your mum?
Yeah. It's sad. Yeah, no, I'm going to stop crying now. But yeah, it was just like a sad time for it. And I'm just like, when I think back to it, like, I don't know. Men get away, I just feel like men do get away with things sometimes. Like, I always say, like, if the roles were reversed and like the shit went down and it was my mum, I would never speak to her again. But when it's my dad, because I've just got so much love for my dad, it's just like, not that I've not got so much love for my mum, I love my mum more than anything, but like, do you get what I'm saying? Because it's just like that novelty of like just like being a daddy's girl, being your little daddy's princess. I just don't know, like it's just like hard to be. I just feel like it's easy to hold a grudge at your mum, which is so weird because you should never hold a grudge at your parents. I just don't feel. And I know that she feels like so bad for things that had happened during that time now, because she still like kind of apologised for it, but my mum completely like switched everything around, and I couldn't be more proud of a person. Like I just hope that when I'm like a mum, even though we had like our rocky phase in our relationship, like I actually love her more than anything. I want to cry again. Like I just hope when I have kids that I could go to my mum with anything in my life. Do you get what I'm saying? She would never judge me, and she'd always listen and always be there. And even though like we went through that shit time for them like years, because it wasn't perfect, and that's what pisses me off so much about people. Like, oh, she has this, she has that. Like a pair of shoes is not a reflection of someone's life. Do you get what I'm saying? Like a nice designer coat or something like that. It's not a reflection of someone's life. Like people were just seeing all these things that I would have and like just assume like, oh, she has it all. Do you get what I'm saying? When my life at home was literally falling apart. So then I would say it was so weird. It was just the weirdest time ever, because it was just back and forth for a while. And then I think it got to the point where it was like, no, this actually needs to like come to an end now. So like they would split up and then they wouldn't. Then it'd be like, oh no, we're fine again. And then they were never like together where it was like proper relationship. Like I remember I used to go around to like my friends, like me mates' houses when I was a kid, and like I used to see the mum and dad just sat on the couch like watching a film together, and I used to just like wish for that. Like I used to just pray for that. Like I just wanted that like proper homely base, and it was never like that. Do you get what I'm saying? Like we've made it a homely base now, where it's just like the girls, and when you go into mum's house, it feels like home. It always will. But like it had a point where it just never felt like that for me. Like it was just a bit like, ugh, why can't my mum and dad just be like that? I had everything that a girl could ever dream of. Like clothes, shoes, everything else, all the fucking things that you think life's about, and then the one thing that I wanted, money, money can't buy, and that's just like your mum and dad actually having a relationship. And yeah, so I don't really blame either parent for what went wrong. Like, I do. My dad definitely knows that he hurt my mum. I feel like my dad takes like, what's the word? He does now. Like he always has. He admits it. Do you get what I'm saying? Like he kind of like he learned from himself. He would never like make them same mistakes again, which is good. Like growth comes from anyone. You can always grow as a person. Just because someone makes mistakes in life doesn't make them like a bad person. And yeah, I do feel like he knows how much he hurt my mum, and like he's seen it as well. But it's sometimes he just doesn't realise how bad it was at home. I think my mum does now that like things have like sorted themselves out, but like the things that I had to like witness and shit and like go through with my mum was actually like, oh, it just gives me shivers. It's actually vile. And I don't think he knows that, like, because I think he does deep down, but it's just like, I think he's seen it, bits of it himself, obviously, but then he doesn't really like he doesn't acknowledge how much I probably seen. Obviously, I grew up the whole time, and when I was with my mum, and it was just like, wow, like she was literally just like not who she was, and it was sad, really. But yeah, so I would say maybe it was actually weird. So then that was all in when I was in like year 8, and then they probably officially got a divorce in 2021. I remember when it was, because I got back from Marbella and it was on the table, the kitchen table, the divorce papers. It wasn't like a nasty divorce. And don't get it wrong, don't get it twisted. My mum and dad still get on. Like my dad is such. At the end of the day, my mum is the mother of his kids. He's never gonna see my mum go without. He's never gonna like leave my mum like to just like rot away. Do you get what I'm saying? They still have a relationship, which I'm so grateful for. Like, on my birthdays and that, he'll come round. On Emmy's birthdays, on Christmas he'll come round, like, and while we open our presents or whatever. Sometimes he would like, he is so caring and loving. My dad would give his last pound away. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, the choices that he made when he was like in his fucking younger years, it's like I just kind of don't see him as that person anymore. He's a completely different human. Even if you knew me dad just a few years ago, you don't know him anymore. Like, to this day, even the growth that he's done, I've acknowledged how much growth my mum's done. Like, even the growth that he's done as an individual, sometimes people just work better in like individually. And that's like okay. Like, honest to God, the way that my dad is now, he's so much more like calm, and like he's just like so much more chill. And the way that he even is with my little sisters, like the way that he was with me, he was so strict. He was always like so like, do you get what I'm saying? And he was kind of like that with like my mum as well. But now he's just like so like spiritual, and like does his Reiki, and like he's just like in his own little bubble. And I love that for me dad. Do you get what I'm saying? He's happy with Stacey, which is my stepmom, by the way. And yeah, so when obviously then I think I met Stacey, which was a little bit in a bit of a like mad way. But at the end of the day, Nevaeh was there, like my little sister Nevaeh. And I would never ever but I knew so basically when I was like going through a bit of a hard time with my mum, obviously mum and dad were together at this point. Well, basically they weren't, but it was just like, do you get what I'm trying to say? So when I come to meeting Stacey, the reason I met Stacey was because me and my mum weren't getting on, and I had to go move into with my dad because we were having a bit of a hard time at home with my mum, and it was getting like a bit bad. And then it was mad meeting Stacey, because it was just like, well, it was obviously weird meeting someone that's like kind of replacing your mum. Do you get what I'm saying? But it was never a question in my mind that I was going to make her feel a certain way or be rude to her. Do you get what I'm saying? I don't really get like when people do that with the step parents. I understand that some step parents, I mean, unless they give you a reason, fair enough, because I do get that some step parents can be like a little bit horrible. But like I was just never going to be rude to her, like, and make her life, because some people do that, like, once the mum and dad have like had separated or whatever, and they meet like the new step parents, the kids like bully them, don't they? But no, I'm not like immature. I would never do that. Like, I'm just not raised like I'm not raised like that. I'm not like horrible. I couldn't be like nasty. So when I met Stacey and I was introduced and I was staying with her, it was a bit like, oh, but I was like obviously respectful to her, and I was nice to her. At the end of the day, she's the mother of my little sister, so I would never like do you get what I'm saying? It's just like, no. Like, I feel like and plus she's like my dad's partner, so if I've got to you just always have respect for them situations. I think whether it's your mum who's got a boyfriend, whether it's your dad who gets a girlfriend, I just think you've always got to be respectful, because they deserve to be happy as well. Do you get what I'm saying? So yeah, then I met and I met Stacey, and it was a little bit like, that was fine. And then obviously they officially got divorced in 2021, but they wasn't together for like a few years before that. They just never officially got divorced. And then yeah, my dad got remarried last year to Stacey, and it was amazing. Like, the wedding was unreal. I literally was so emotional that day. It was just like, it's just so cute seeing your mum or your dad or just anyone just happy. Like, that's just what I wanted in my life. I don't care what how like shitty things have been in the past, or like whatever situations have happened in the past. It's just about the future for when it comes to my family, because for all I want for them is to just be happy. And my mum is such like, I'm just like, my mum's such like an individual. Like she just is, I don't know, I'm just so happy. She's like a little flower that's just like bloomed. She just went through such a dark time. And it was like a long, dark time though. That's what makes me sad, because she was like, felt like that for such a long time. And like she's fully just like recovered herself and made herself feel like she's just a new person now. Like she's just not like that. She's just not here at all. It's like we sit and we look back and we speak about things now, and it's just like she can't believe the way that she used to be. Like it was like, I don't know, like she actually just, and she just doesn't realize sometimes how proud of where I am. Like I just would never have like, I just don't think I'd ever be like who I am without my mum. Do you get what I'm saying? Even though my dad was always a present dad, and I'm not saying my dad was never there, because he was, and he did. My dad literally was put on this earth to literally be a dad. He had such like a shit relationship with, like he didn't really have a relationship with his parents because they passed away when he was so young. He didn't get that opportunity to like have that bond. So when he had kids, he made sure that we had that. And again, I speak to my dad about anything as well. He's always there for me with anything, and he always will be. I know that. He's been like, he's just insane. They both are just incredible parents, but just separately, together they just was not good. Like, do you get what I'm saying? They kind of just like bad energy, and now that they're just like apart, they still talk, like not talk like that, but like they'll still like communicate. Do you get what I'm saying? Which is nice, and they're not like bitter or nothing like that, which would do me head in if they was, because sometimes when kids are involved, you do just have to be the bigger person in some like circumstances, I feel. Um, but yeah, I just feel like if I could go into more detail, I would, but it's just like I can't, because it's just a little bit like raw. But that's definitely probably like the hardest thing that I've ever like personally had to go through when I was watching that with my mum. And I feel like in a way, even though it's like I'm happy that everything is worked out the way that it's worked out, it's like that is definitely like, I don't know. It's definitely taught me a few things, like, and sometimes I think too much. Like, do you get what I'm saying? Like, where it kind of like not affects my relationships, because it doesn't, but it's just like, do you know where something like just kind of rubs you the wrong way, like sometimes, and it's just because of like things from that past situation. That's how I feel like with like your current relationships and stuff. I do feel like I'm a little bit more like observant, and like, maybe I shouldn't be like that, but it's just like I've always just been a little spy. Do you get me? Like I was doing it when I was 7, so could you imagine now I'm actually an adult? But yeah. Um. So yeah, but now afterwards, like my family is just like obviously I've got Nevaeh now, like I've got Emmy, I've got me 2 older brothers, like they're just my like everything. I really couldn't do life without me siblings, and I love them all for different purposes, really, because they're all just so different, but they're all just like you need one of them at like certain points in your life always. Like when something's happened with me dad or we're had an argument, I'll always ring our Jordan, and we'll have like a full on like girls gossip on the phone, and vice versa. Like we're like that, where I like if I'm worried about something, or think that my dad, like if I when I was like very young, and if I was out or something, and I needed to know if he knew if I had done anything, I'd text Emmy and be like, is my dad in a mood with me? Like they'd all got different purposes. But yeah, about like going through. But yeah, I do feel like my little sisters, they didn't see any of that kind of stuff. Do you get what I'm saying? Like when I said before that my dad's completely changed now, like he's so they don't realize how lucky they are. Like I took all the brunt for them. I hope they're appreciative. I actually did. I got all the hardship for them, and now that he's like calm, fucking spiritual era, they're just like he doesn't have the same energy with them he did with them. Not that he did with me. He was definitely not as strict as what he was with me. He's so strict. Emmy will say that he's still strict with her, but I don't think he is. Like he used to have like people like out looking for me, and that if I used to go out to the park. Honest to God, you couldn't write it. So yeah, but I do think it was definitely a hard time to like. I could never really fully go into everything that what I went through with my mum, because it's just business, and I would never want to do that. But I am so proud of like everything that she is and everything that she's become. And when I'm a mother, that I have like kids that love me as much as I love you. Like I actually do, and my dad as well. Honest to God, and George reminds me of my dad in so many ways. I know that sounds weird, but he does. Like the way that the meet George's heart is, it definitely got the same kind of heart as my dad. Like they just got the same in that like that aspect, and I absolutely adore them. But yeah, it's just like breakups are definitely hard for um watching it go. You like watching your parents go through it. And especially if it's like a little bit confused, like on and off kind of thing, like 1 minute they're sweet, 1 minute they're not. Like it's just that was definitely not the right way about it. But I know that if they could go back, they would definitely do things differently. And I know that my dad would. He always says I definitely handled that situation a bit wrongly. I done that a bit wrong. And he does. Like my dad's very, very open and honest about everything, and I love that for him and value that. Like there's one thing of me about making a mistake and doing things the wrong way, but to be able to learn and grow from them, that's the most important thing. It doesn't matter, we all do things that are wrong. We could all probably do things in better ways, but to reflect at an older age and be like, yeah, I definitely handled that wrong, and I should have done that the different way, then and that's enough for me. Do you get what I'm saying? Because like I said, it is their first time living as well, and we've got to remember that like they haven't been here before. Do you get what I'm saying? Like my dad will say different. My dad will say that we've definitely been here before. It's like my dad's one of them. He really believes all of his conspiracies, but I actually do believe some of them that he like comes out with, because honest to God, he thinks the earth's flat, by the way. Like, what do you think? I don't even know if I should start that debate, but he thinks it's flat as a pancake with a big dome around it, and even pilots and that are coming out saying that it's true. And no one's, and if, like, it's just a load of bullshit that we're in orbit. I don't know. Like, he thinks the sun's not as far away as they tell us, like loads of things. So he's so fucking funny. But on about everything else, it's just like peaceful now. Honest to God, it's so peaceful. Like my mum's so happy. My dad's so happy. That like Stacey's obviously so happy. Like the wedding was amazing. Like I've got another little sister Nevaeh, which I fucking love. Even though she's in a bit of a nightmare at times, I literally adore her, and she knows it. And like we're all just happy and in our own little lives. So yeah, sometimes things don't work out, and you are so confused. At the time, I was so confused when I was like that young girl in school, but now I'm just so grateful and like happy that everything worked out the way it did, even though it's not the way that you wished it did. It's just like the way that's better for everyone, and I'm just so happy. Yeah, but I do love my parents so much, and they've obviously given me this life and give me such an amazing bring up. I'm not saying I've had a hard life at all, because definitely haven't. But yeah, no, things haven't always been perfect, and I just thought I'd touch on them because it is hard sometimes, family life, because it's family, it's everything. But yeah, that's a few little things on mine. I hope that you've liked this episode and been able to relate in some sort. My feet are so cold. I'll keep grabbing them. And yeah, that is just like a little bit of my family life. But as for now, everything is amazing. My dad's a little spiritual queen. My mum's slaying hard. Like, we're all just doing our thing, and I'm proud of everyone, because it's been such a long like process building that back to where it was. You get what I'm saying? I'm like being in the position that we are, where everyone talks and there's no like arguing, and it's just like nice, which makes me happy, because that's what it's about at the end of the day. So yeah, guys, that is kind of, I'm going to end that episode there, because I feel like I've touched on what I need to touch on when it comes to like family and like little stories and stuff. But yeah, I hope you liked this episode, and it was a little bit of a sad one, but make sure you are subscribed to this channel, like, and go and follow us on all of the channels as well, which is Tea Time with Livvy. But thank you so much for watching, and I love you all so much, and I will see you in a few weeks. Bye.